Hi there, Titan DIY back with another quick video. Wanted to get some content out regarding my build experience with the NR200p, specifically version 1. Again, this is not the max. You'll notice everything's a bit of a mess right now. However, I'm prepping for final testing here in final assembly. Before I did that, I wanted to just show you how I did the top panel as far as fitting in top mount AIO. For the stack itself, I have an ID cooling radiator, pretty budget, run-of-the-mill, and attached to that two Corsair Slim 120 fans. This entire stack is measuring out at about 42.5, roughly 43 millimeters. So when you're looking at specs and your build journey, obviously you want to try and get this stack as slim as possible. That will just make your life quite a bit easier. From the top itself, you'll see these brackets I made. I took those from an old Corsair 2.5-inch HD adapter. So the reason I did that was to have threads, pre-threaded holes going through to the radiator itself. So just using 632 motherboard screws here, screw into the radiator through the bracket itself. Again, these were pre-threaded holes from the Corsair brackets that I sacrificed. The cool thing about this, it is pretty cheap. If you end up buying it, it's like $5, I think. So something fun to keep in mind. For the outer screws themselves, I did drill those. I think I want to say I used a 3/32 bit. As long as you're using something slightly smaller than threads themselves, you should be fine. So that'll self-thread through the bracket itself and then through to the plastic panel. So on the back, you'll see I have quite a few extra air holes. Not too concerned about that. When the top mesh panel's on, those are going to be pretty hidden. So you do want screws that don't extend all the way through. If they do, they're going to block your posts from actually going in the holes up top here. So another thing to keep in mind is these front corners. They are pretty tight. If you get that radiator too far butted up here, it's not going to be able to fit with this bracket, this little L bracket here. So just another thing to keep in mind. The other thing is if you want to, like, say, grind down the tips of these or the heads of these screws, that might make your life a little bit easier as far as the mesh panel bulging out on your final assembly. For me, not too concerned. I'm going to have mine in this under desk bracket anyways. So for me, if I have slight bulges in the panel itself, I'm not too concerned about that. So again, option is to grind. You could grind these heads down a bit, or you could just get some smaller, maybe some more low profile 632 screws that might work for you. So you'll notice I cut out the bracket itself quite a bit wider than a lot of the DIY tutorials out there, simply because I wanted more flexibility in final fitment and space to move components and wiring around. For me, obviously, once that mesh panel is on, it's all pretty hidden and not noticeable anyways. So for me, it was more important to have the flexibility versus having a perfect sort of cutout for that radiator. Now, keep in mind, if that's something that you do want to do, is get that cut pretty much perfectly square to where you want it, lined up to the edge, that is. I would go ahead and I'd make like a cardboard analog for your entire stack and then fit that up and find out where you want to cut exactly. If you do that, want that completely fit and finish to the edge. And really, that's about it. So anything else, questions, comments, feel free to post, and I'll try and get to those as quick as I can. Otherwise, I'll be back with another video of this final assembled. Thanks.